Hey guys, and welcome back for another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm Jack, I'm here with Liam.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about The Expanse and The Wolf Among Us 2 and how often I think that these episodes should be released. Okay, so obviously it's a big year for TellTale Games and Deck 9 with both The Wolf Among Us 2 and Expanse coming out. Now, I don't know, I just think that this might be a nice little discussion point because I've played TellTale games before. I know how they've typically worked is they'll release an episode and then it'll be like 2 or 3 months later, and as of this date of recording, it's the 28th of January. We've not had any news as to how often these episodes for these series will be released. And I think that my honest opinion is that I hope they don't stick with what they've done previously. Maybe it's that I've just become a bit impatient as I've got older. But I would like to see these episodes come out more frequently than every 2 or 3 months. I think it could be a reason as well that it's like a product of the times we live in. Maybe it's because we have your Netflixes, your Apple TVs, your Amazon Primes where content is like readily available. So people are naturally less patient. They want to binge these things. Now, I'm not saying I want all of the episodes available on day one. However, I would be lying if I said that I'd want there to be like a significant gap between them. And I think for me, in order for my enthusiasm for each series to really stay hold, I would almost like the episodes to come out maybe no longer than every 3 weeks or so. So maybe you could have like a 15-week period or like a 12-week period, depending on how many episodes there are per series. And you can say that within these 12 weeks, you'll have got all of the episodes. I just find maybe even speaking selfishly from a content, creator perspective, it'll be really good because you've got that time in between episodes to speculate. It doesn't drag its heels, it doesn't take too long so that by the time the next episode rolls round, you've kind of forgot what happened in the previous episode and you need to replay it, and you might not necessarily want to do that. So I don't know if this is controversial or people agree with me. Do let me know in the comments either way. Yeah, mate, I'll throw it over to you now. Do you have a particular preference as to when, how often the episodes will get released for these series?
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting one because I remember being a massive fan of TellTale The Walking Dead when it came out, and TellTale typically released their episodes 2 months apart. And now that is just a whole question itself, whether 8 weeks is too much, not enough, maybe the right amount to wait, because you really want to get that perfect balance, don't you, of making it fresh enough where people remember what happened in the last episode. Although you want to build that suspense, you want people to go away wondering for days on end, weeks on end of what's going to happen in the next one, time to build theories. If they hit you with a giant cliffhanger, you really want that to resonate, for quite a while before you plunge into the next episode, which is what the, episode used to do a really good job of. Now, 8 weeks, is that too much? 2 months waiting for the next episode? I mean, potentially. I know they can skirt around it with things such as, previously in the last episode of, we've seen them do that quite a few times. Now, I'm a massive fan of the suspense. I like waiting between the episodes because I like the suspense to build. I like to wait and build theories. I just think it's a really fascinating thing. So I hope they don't release everything at once. I doubt they will, but I wouldn't want all 5 episodes to come out on demand instantly. I know with series, it's different. I quite like that when series do it, for example. Like if they throw Stranger Things at me, I want to watch the whole thing and binge it within a week. But yeah, with these ones, I would like to wait, but I do sort of agree with you. I've grown a little impatient, and I think 8 weeks might be a little long for me. I'll take it, like I won't be too gutted, but yeah, I could do like a month apart. I reckon that would be the perfect amount for me. That way, if we've got a 5-episode series, we can wrap it up in 5 months. If you think about it, if you're, delaying it every 2 months, it's going to take you 10 months to complete a game. And I mean, in your humble opinion, Jack, do you reckon 10 months is too long to complete a TellTale season?
For me, it is. Don't get me wrong. I know I've said that I'd want it to be more frequent. I would still play the episodes. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel like my enthusiasm would wane over a period of time, because it's like, wow, I've got another wait. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm the sort of person where on the release date of, say, episode 2 of The Wolf Among Us 2, I'm playing it on the release date. I'll get it done, and then I'll be sort of sat there after a couple of hours thinking, wow, I've got another 2 months to wait, which... yeah, that's not my cup of tea at all, to be honest. But like I say, regardless, I would play them. And speaking for The Wolf Among Us 2, I have done a bit of research, and they did say that they're going to get all of the episodes done and finished before they start to release them. Whereas I think I got the impression in previous years they might still be working on episode 5 when episode 2 got released, or something like that. As for the Expanse, I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll have to see. But it's something I thought that was worth raising, and it's something that, I think, speaking for me, I'm going to be quite keen on when they start to reveal more about these games.
I remember when I first played The Wolf Among Us, and episode 1 had such a chilling conclusion of Snow's head being left at your doorstep. And it was so epic to wait for months thinking that Snow was dead, how they were going to handle episode 2. And then they threw an absolute curveball at you if that was a glamour and Snow was actually alive and well. I think if the episodes were released back to back, that whole cliffhanger would have been rendered completely redundant without that wait period of me kind of building my theories and stuff and having that suspense. So yeah, I think the suspense is really integral to the TellTale model almost. But yeah, no, I do agree. It would be nice just to have it, in a shorter period. So yeah, enthusiasm doesn't wane, because yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of us adults, we might have our jobs. A lot of you guys might have college or school, and so it is nice just to get it wrapped up rather than have to wait constantly, where you're probably playing other video games between now and then without having to, like you said, Jack, go back and play the other games to remember what had happened.
Yeah, I think what I'm basically looking for is almost like a middle ground, completely agree. I don't think that it should be released all at once. I think you've got to have that time, you've got to have that suspense. It's equally, it can't go on too long. So if the usual format is about 2 months, I'd be looking at maybe, every 3 to 4 weeks, roughly. So yeah, obviously that's our opinions, guys, on how often we think that Expanse and The Wolf Among Us 2 episodes should be released later on this year. And I think it'll be quite interesting as well as how they release them. Will they get all of the Expanse done first and then release The Wolf Among Us? Will they sort of interchange between the 2 series, where we might get episode 1 of Expanse, then episode 1 of Wolf Among Us, then episode 2 of the Expanse, and so on and so forth? So yeah, it's something we'll be keeping an eye on later this year, because we will be covering these games. They are choice-based games after all, so definitely stay tuned if you're a TellTale or a Deck 9 Games fan.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.